Hello, welcome back for part 2 of the Scipii campaign. I have learned a couple of interesting things since recording the previous part, which I will share with you. One is that there are actually almost no advantages to recruiting Town Watch over peasants. You see, maintaining order is more about sheer population of your garrison than it is about anything else. So in spite of being called Town Watch are actually inferior at keeping order compared to peasants. Peasants, I think they're 240 population per unit. So if you want to maintain order and you're not too worried about units that can actually fight, and quite frankly, Town Watch can't really fight that well anyway, it's pretty much a better idea to go for peasants than it is to go for Town Watch. So that's a good thing to know. Another very good thing to know is that buildings which increase public order due to law are a little bit more than meets the eye. And that is quite useful because it applies to two of our temples. Shrine to Vulcan increases law a little bit by the end, by the time you get the Pantheon. And Shrine to Saturn increases law by a hell of a lot. And that's actually useful for more than just the public order bonus. It's also useful because any buildings which increase public order bonus due to law actually also reduce corruption in your towns, and corruption is a major drain on your finances by the late game. So that's actually quite useful to know, and it definitely makes me a lot more inclined to build the shrines to Vulcan and Saturn. I am still going to be going for the shrine to Neptune here in Syracuse, but right now there are some public order problems. Obviously, another big decision that had to be made after the previous part was, do we go east and attack Sparta, which is just around here? Or do we go west and attack Carthage? Attacking Carthage would mean being in two wars at once, but attacking Sparta would mean going quite far out of our way with our army and leaving ourselves relatively undefended if Carthage decide to turn on us. I don't think it's a particularly difficult decision. I think it's definitely going to be better just to ignore Sparta for now and focus on taking out Carthage while they're still fairly weak. This town here shouldn't be too hard to take out. It's only got the 3 units. Town militia's pretty terrible. Skirmishers, once you get close to them you can kill them almost immediately, and then there's one family member who's probably the only thing that's going to put up a real resistance there. The main issue is that if we send our army forth right now, that's gonna upset Syracuse even more. And if we look at the settlement detail scroll, they're not really getting any calmer. You can see the unrest here. It's all still clear blocks. If one of them was kind of like half fading out, then we'd know that unrest is gonna get better turn for turn, but it's not happening just yet. There's also a culture penalty, which comes from all these Greek buildings, but I don't think we can actually enhance anything by getting rid of those right now. So the garrison is going to be a big part of maintaining order here, and I think we have to give it at least one more turn before we can do very much. But I am going to change my approach here. I was going to build a bioream. I think obviously, with the public order situation being what it is, we do want peasants. Over here it's also very tempting to get peasants instead of a bioream. I think this is the whole Carthaginian navy. It's just 2 units, which should be fairly easy to deal with. But obviously attacking 2 units with 4 units is going to be a lot better than doing it with 3. It's a pretty big increase in terms of percentage. On the other hand, if I focus on this, I feel like it's going to be longer before I can safely leave Syracuse with my main force. So I feel like, again, we're going to go for peasants. We're just going to try and up the public order situation in Syracuse before we leave. Another thing I'm going to do is take this faction leader here, who has some pretty good management skills, and I'm going to leave him in Syracuse. And Messana, as one of our starting towns, is fairly easy to keep happy, so I'm also going to send the Town Watch over there. They're now very unhappy. Well, they're not that unhappy. I think they're still... No, they're not happier, but they're happier than Syracuse was at the start of the episode. But if we lower them to low tax rate, they're now fairly happy, so that's all good. Over here in the main town we're going to recruit some Hastati, because I think that's our only source of Hastati right now. Yup. So we definitely want that. We need to keep those coming. Otherwise, I don't think there's too much else we can do, really. Syracuse is currently fairly happy. I'm very reluctant to leave. I could leave with a very small force, because I won't need much to take those out. 2 general units plus maybe 1 Hastati should do the job.
Orders, Imperator.
We'll take a step out of the town, we'll see what happens.
Imperator. Move out.
Yeah. They're not very happy about that.
Sir.
I think I will actually recruit these Peltasts. Another 160.
Sir. Leaving
Just to tide the town over. Blueface. I don't know if they can rebel with the Blueface. The Blueface is quite confusing to me in many ways. But I think with the Blueface they're not gonna rebel just yet. So we're gonna go right up against the Carthaginian border. And we're gonna send our fleet over towards Carthage to see what kind of reinforcements could be on their way. Another option would be to go up to Capua and to bring over more Hastati, but I think I'd rather get the scouting done against Carthage's main towns.
Yes, Captain. Out of move.
So nothing to see just yet. Doesn't look like they have anything. That appears to be their whole navy. But we can't be sure just yet. Otherwise, I think it's pretty much time to end the turn. We should have a diplomat somewhere. I'm pretty sure he was on his way.
Noble master.
Can't get to anyone just yet, but let's go to Patavium
Speak with them at once. No more.
and see about selling them some map information and then getting some trade rights, which probably won't last because the Romans will soon be at war with them, inevitably. Otherwise, I think we're good to end the turn. We've bought mercenaries, all of our towns are busy. Pretty sure we're good to go. Okay, nothing of note there. Ships have gone closer to Lilybaeum. Let's have a look what's going on. So we know we spent a lot of money, but actually, I think 5,500 denarii to start the turn is not bad at all, no problem. Shrine to Vulcan is completed over at Capua. We can go up to Temple of Vulcan, which would be alright just to improve the weapons, but I don't think we need to do that. Let's focus on... I think Stables is the best bet, so that we can get some Equites. On the other hand, paved roads improves income. I don't think we need Equites too badly, if we're mostly going to be doing sieges. Let's go with paved roads. We're going to try and get some trade going soon. Plus we're already trading with the fellow Roman factions.
Yes.
We'll go speak to Captain... Geraint? Offer him an alliance, I wonder what he'd say to that. Fortunately, this game does not give you a great idea of what they would actually think of your offers. I'm gonna see if they'll pay me for this. 300 gold. 300 gold? 300 denarii. Might be a bit much. Let's see what happens. They want us to pay them. Okay, that's not too promising. How about we offer them map information? Let me try again. Okay, they call that a generous offer, so I might have to try and milk people a bit more in future. Brutiae Diplomat, I'm pretty sure we're already doing things with them. Can I do 2 things in one turn? I can't do that in Medieval Total War, but good to know. Yes, we've already got trade rights. Be a bit strange if we didn't. So I think we have to now move on. Can use diplomats kind of like as scouts in the early game. They're pretty good for that. Just to discover a few more civilizations.
Ready to sail.
Now let's have a little bit of a spy on Carthage. That's not too scary, just the 4 units. They are going to be 4 fully stacked units though, whereas most of my units are not too great. This place is now pretty happy though, so I think we're good to pretty much move out with the entire force.
Sir!
Which shouldn't be necessary. But good to know. It's us or them. Let's do it.
Besieging settlement, sir!
Okay. I was hoping that the spy would open the gates for us, but it hasn't happened. It's going to take 2 turns to build a ram as well, which is very unfortunate. We came very close. Now, do I want biremes? Or do I want more peasants? I think a few more peasants for now, just to be safe. And then we can go fully into naval production. These peasants can move across. Masana's not too happy about that, actually. They should be okay, though, for 1 turn. And now we should be good to move out pretty much the rest of the army. I'm going to leave the Roman archers behind just because they're a nice, bulky unit in terms of population. These guys are going to be more useful pop for pop. Let's go join up. And yeah, Syracuse is still pretty happy, so that's all good. Let's get 1 last unit of peasants here. Just to shore up that public order. And over here. This seems like a good place for a bireme. Slightly different price. I wonder what the explanation for that is. Drill Master, possibly. Yeah, 10% discount. It's good to know. That doesn't seem right, though. A 10% discount, how much do they normally cost? It is right, yeah, 660, not 600. Otherwise it would have been a 1% discount, which would have been pretty bad. But yeah, I think we should go for Navy there, just so we can actually transport some of these Stati. 3 fresh units there. We don't really need them in Capua. Capua's not really under threat at all.
Yes. Ready to sail!
Now, do we want to blockade Carthage, or do we want to keep looking? Just in case there's more to see. There should be another town, Thapsus. Even less well defended. Okay. I think in that case, we want to go and attack their navy with our own.
Can I be of service?
And I think we're good for another turn. Yep, let's go. Let's see how they respond. Something happened there. I just saw the UI flicker. I wonder what that's about. Maybe it means there's a spy. That could be it. Diplomatic information, that's my allies declaring on Carthage. That's all good. Recruitment report, lots of peasants. Should keep the public order up for now. Masana's happy again, just from having a few peasants stood around. Which they already were, but now they've got like little daggers. Apparently that makes everyone a lot happier. Syracuse. Pretty happy. I'm gonna go for the Shrine to Neptune. I could risk a normal tax rate now. But I think I'll give it 1 more turn. Masana's still busy. Let's recruit a bireme, just to absolutely ensure that we are dominant on the seas. And over here, I think we will go with 2nd diplomat, just to explore in a different direction.
Fleet ready!
Send the Hastati. Gonna be using those pretty quickly. I'm gonna go the safe way around Sicily because I don't want this ship to get attacked by this Carthaginian navy. That appears to be a new unit though, so I'm not sure where the previous unit went. I did miss that. It was shown, which it presumably was. Right, now let's see if we can... Oh, the gates are open. I was wondering if that would happen. Well, that makes things very easy. In we go. Progressing very quickly. Assuming this all goes to plan. After that slightly shaky first fight, I'm not totally confident. But the odds are massively in our favour. It would take a ridiculous glitch for something to go wrong now. I don't think that their infantry unit gets a bonus against cavalry, so there is the option of just straight up charging in with our generals. They should do pretty well.
This morning, an eagle circled the camp 3 times, then flew towards the rising sun.
I might play through one of those speeches before the end of the playthrough, just because they are quite good, but not right now. Not right now. These guys are definitely going to do well against the general. Maybe not really well, but with a bit of support they should be okay. Mercenaries, I think they're kind of overpriced, so I'm fairly happy for them to go in. Do the bulk of the work. A couple of generals should do fairly well. Can potentially surround them, go in from multiple sides. Let's see about doing that. This looks like a slightly awkward way in. Kinda hard to get round. Still probably worth doing though, just so we can flank them. There's also an argument for doing it from this side. That looks like a much more direct way in. Let's begin. Alright, so do they have any units stationed at the front? Doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. Okay, let's start marching these in. Looks like his general is actually not in the town square yet, but will probably soon go there. These are skirmishers, which are going to be easy prey for the general. Surprised they've left them there. In the middle is the main infantry unit. We're going to wait till the hoplites get a bit closer before we go and deal with them. And I think we can send our own skirmishers to go and deal with them. General is already engaged, and no losses so far, so that's all good. They don't seem too confident about taking us on. Velites, I think, can go and back up our other ranged unit, just to soften up that infantry. Only town militia should go down pretty easy.
Our soldiers have captured the walls.
Okay, we've got them routing.
To press on and capture this place.
Looks like that general is preparing to do something. Start marching this guy in. Need to keep a close eye on these. These are the only real threat. Pretty much dealt with all of the skirmishers. Just a few left. Let's wait there for a moment. I'm not sure what the general's planning here. He should probably go back to the town square. Which he can. Seems to be split as well. Half of his unit is here and the other half is over there. It looks like 2 separate units, but it's definitely not. That seems to be the fastest way in. We might have to be careful here actually. These guys are going to get themselves in trouble. Let's get these guys out of phalanx formation, just get them a bit closer. I think he's very reluctant to engage. Bring the hoplites round, first and foremost. Hold on a moment, I'm not sure about this. You hang back for a bit. Want these guys going in first. Skirmishers have regrouped. I'm not bothered about them. They're not going to get many kills, if any. And there's no need to risk the bulk of our army here. They should pretty much rout as soon as we make contact, I think. I'm surprised they're not already trying to run away. There we go. Okay, now. Might be too late, but we need to form a phalanx. Left them a little bit unsupported here. Okay, I didn't want that to happen. I was trying to get past those, but they've ridden straight into them. Hoplites are not dealing with that too well. Let's get our other general unit in there. Okay, they're routing. They didn't form the phalanx as quickly as I was hoping, sadly. Now they're coming around, possibly to attack the Velites, but no, looks like they're going for our general. Let's make sure we shower them with a few javelins. Main general, meanwhile, is dealing not too well. I think we're losing way too many there. I think the spear is possibly increasing our losses a bit, so let's actually bring in some of the big guns. It should be fairly easy to take out. General's going back. That's fine. He'll have to come and engage us. Unless he wants to take lots of hits. Possibly he's coming for my other general. Which is fine. I'm just going to move away because I'm not too strong. These guys actually move. Let's see about these. They've gone completely the wrong way. Just gonna shower these for a bit. Velites, same job. Weaken those a bit so they don't damage our generals too much. This guy's running away. General doesn't want to leave. We can possibly try and strike him from behind. He's got 27 units, so he's not much stronger than us. Let's go for it. Let's see if we can take him on without engaging the militia. They're running for us. Now they should be on skirmish mode, so they should be running away, but they're not doing a very good job at that. His own general's coming in. It's going to be heavier losses than I thought. These guys are routing. They shouldn't even be fighting, really. If we charge these from behind, we should do some real damage. General unit should replenish itself. I don't mind losing a few mercenaries, that's not a big deal. They charge too much anyway. Let's leave it to the generals. Peltas have regained their courage.
Gods be praised! The enemy general is dead! His men know their doom approaches!
There we go.
The gods be praised! The enemy's heart...
Okay.
Rome demands victory from her generals, and this day is clearly our victory!
That didn't go quite to plan, but it worked. Didn't lose any generals. That was my main fear. And we still have enough of a force left to take on Carthage pretty quickly. Now let's see, how are they doing? They don't mind us so much. We have got a fairly large occupying force. There is an argument for enslaving. That also helps our main city grow, and growth of Capua is very closely linked to the Marian reforms. The Marian reforms are probably the main thing that makes Rome so overpowered. It enables you to upgrade past Astarte and Principes and Triarii and start getting better units, like the various cohorts. This is one of my early towns, it's pretty close to the capital. I'm not sure I want to annoy it too much. It doesn't seem too unhappy. We're just going to occupy it. Put it down to a low tax rate. It's not got a port yet, so we can't get the shrine to Neptune. I still feel like that's the best option for these kind of naval towns. Sewers, public health slightly better. I want something that's gonna make them happier, if possible. But it looks like our only option for now is the port, unless we don't go for the shrine to Neptune, but I think we're gonna get peasants here. Could we train some Velites? Fairly happy to do that because I don't normally use them for much. Now, let's see about transporting our army. Going fully aggressive. This guy's the stronger commander. Now are they going to be upset if we leave? Not yet. Send the Astarte. Okay, now they're not happy. 70% there is not too bad. I think they should be okay for one turn. Over at Syracuse, we can now recruit Astarte. Definitely want to be doing that. Every other town is busy.
Fleet ready. Ready to sail.
Initially I thought I would move the mercenary peltas, but I think they are going to be necessary to maintain order. We've been rewarded with a bireme. I'm pretty sure we were told that we were going to get one of the strongest units we could have, and all we've been given is Pretty mediocre naval unit. I suppose it's possibly linked to our own recruitment buildings, but that's pretty disappointing. But it means that I don't need to build biremes anywhere else, which is good. Probably don't need one here. But the only alternatives are town watch, peasants, and diplomats. I think bireme is the best option of those. Construction complete, we've got the militia barracks, we know about that. Coming of age, Aulus Scipio, let's see what this guy does. He's in Syracuse. He's got no traits, he's got no personality, he's got nothing. Apart from the fact that he looks much older than his age. Okay. Do we want to bring him over? He's the strongest of the bunch, I guess. In terms of his bodyguard unit. 48 men left. No need to build a fort or a watchtower. We want to move that a little bit closer. Just the one unit there. We know he's got more units somewhere.
Yes, Captain. Moves depleted, sir.
Ah, I forgot to move the spy as well.
At your service. My way.
Fleet ready.
But that's fine. We'll bring them over soon. Diplomats walking off. Is there some way we can speed this up? There we go. Spacebar. Things are definitely going to kick off pretty soon. With the Gauls. That's fine. Shouldn't really affect us. Okay, blockade Carthage. That's fine. We'd probably do that anyway, pretty naturally.
Ready to sail.
How's the army? Still only the 3 units. We've got significantly more than that. We're certainly not ready to assault the town,
Yes, Captain. Off the boats.
but I think we are ready to at least engage.
Attack. Besieging settlement, sir.
Let's get a ram, let's start building a siege tower as well. We can recruit mercenaries, Libyan mercenaries and Numidian mercenaries, neither of which are great. Both pretty weak. These guys seem significantly better, and they only cost 30 more in upkeep. They are much more expensive though. But we have a decent supply of funds, so I'm tempted. Now let's bring this guy over, pick up the spy.
Yes, master. Hiding aboard ship, looking for spies.
Can't sail there, Captain. Set sail.
Blockade that, just so we complete the mission.
Aye, Captain.
Ooh, slightly worried about this actually. Big threat to Admiral Lentulus there. Unless we can scare him off.
Ready.
Yeah, I think we should actually attack these instead. That makes much more sense. Didn't sink them, but they are now off to irrelevance somewhere.
Moves depleted, sir.
New guy can wait there.
Fleet ready. Sir.
And we can see that this guy is slowly replenishing his bodyguards. Now let's check that everywhere is pretty busy before we start spending money on mercenaries, which are extremely expensive. Recruit some more Hastati. Shipwright is pretty useful for triremes. That's going to make sure that we're pretty much unbeatable on the water for the foreseeable future. Legion barracks also very tempting. Get Principes. Very good unit. Public order's okay. We can go up to normal tax pretty comfortably now. Temple of Neptune doesn't give us too much for a 2-turn wait. Legion barracks is very expensive. I'm going to go with the shipwright for now because it's good for income, not just for military. Doing okay on military. Over here, I think Shrine to Neptune seems very justifiable, so let's go for that. And Capua. Before we get to Capua, let's get another Hastati. Capua. Hastati again. Otherwise, Capua is very busy. All the towns are busy. Lilybime can use one more unit. Let's get some peasants just to keep everyone happy, then we can move our other units out.
Ready to sail.
And let's see if there's anyone else we can talk to here.
Your command. At once.
Rebels, it's not going to be too useful.
Without delay.
Let's keep going. We should find Dacia up in this direction somewhere. And if we keep going, we'll find Thrace too. And we should also have a diplomat available who can go in the kind of Spain direction. And I think that is sufficient for one turn. Kind of wondering what Carthage can throw at us.
Ready to sail.
But they're looking fairly weak. They've got another town on the sea there, worth bearing in mind. Greek cities, I don't think they're actually going to come and attack us. I'll be very surprised if they do. Corrales here, 2 units in the guard. It's not really going to be a problem.
Ready to sail. Yes, Captain.
Now, drop off those units.
Ready to sail.
You join our main navy. And we'll blockade the port, just so we complete the Senate mission. Over here. Income's not doing too great now. I think we need to start looking at better income buildings. 1 turn for roads. Plus, they're fairly happy now, so let's go to a high tax rate. Let's see if we can go high tax rate elsewhere too. This place definitely can. Go very high, in fact. And I'm fairly happy to do that. So one thing that's coming for Messana is this volcano here. I think it's Vesuvius. Is going to erupt, and most of the people in Messana are going to die. So we don't really need to worry too much about the population there right now. It's not really going to be too relevant to focus on. I think Vesuvius is the one that destroyed Pompeii. I could be wrong. But that makes sense in my head. But I don't think Pompeii is in this game, which makes sense. Right, another admiral here. Give him some Hastati. I think it makes sense to get a trader instead of pumping out more units right now though. Definitely need to up the income. Hastati, I think, can start travelling elsewhere. Now perhaps we could go for a secondary navy, because this should already be able to handle just about everything on the sea. So it would be useful to have another navy just to go and explore and potentially attack rival navies where they emerge.
Sir. Attack.
We are ready to assault, but we only have the 1 ram, which is not going to be enough.
Settlement under siege, sir.
We know what they've got in here. They've got their faction leader, Astrobal, Bomilcar, some Numidian mercenaries and some Balearic slingers. So he's not going to be able to defend the walls at all. But these could do some real damage to our Hastati. At worst, could trigger a mass rout. And that could be a problem. I'm not sure how I feel about doing that. Surely we have the number advantage enough that a mass rout shouldn't be a problem. Especially if we go in with our main units with higher numbers of soldiers. Recruitment report, we know about that. Construction report and end of turn report, we know that we're losing a lot of money. We've got big armies, and I think it makes sense to attack Carthage fairly quickly. Let's end the turn. This guy's gone as far as he can. Need to redirect him. Aha, I see that the Julii are going to attack Carthage. That's not ideal. I'd rather they didn't, but I can't imagine that they're going to have trouble. 3 units against 2. Carthage seems unwilling to recruit. Possibly they don't have much money. Got a bireme, another bireme. We definitely don't need any more biremes. Too many of them now. Costing too much money. We've got roads. We've got 1,000 gold in the bank. It's not gold, it's denarii, but same thing. What can we buy? Shrine to Neptune. It's not going to increase our income, so I don't think we want it yet. Land clearance will. Plus it's fairly cheap. Farms do give you some income. Over here, likewise, fairly cheap building. Let's go for it. Capua. I think that's all fine. Let's bring this chap over. I could leave the blockade on, but I'm not sure we need to. We can potentially attack Carthage's other town with a strong enough navy. The spy. Let's go see what's going on there. Ooh, okay. That is a problem. That's potentially going to come and attack us pretty much straight away. And we're not sure what's there. Can we spy on them? 100% chance of success. But we can't quite make it. That's unfortunate. Okay. Can't build Hastati there. Let's bring our navy around. Yeah, absolutely nothing worth having from there. Other units can't get across in the one turn. I thought it seemed too easy. Now we know why. The Julii are going to have no problem with Corrales though, which is pretty annoying. It makes sense though that they'd defend their capital a bit more strongly. But it's too late to go back now. Let's see what happens. Did they not move? One minor exotic unit, that's not too helpful. Yep, Corrales has been taken already by the Julii. That's kind of annoying. We see what they have. They've got some elephants. That's pretty scary. Iberian infantry, fairly strong. Round shield cavalry. Could be a problem potentially.
Yes, master.
Imperator.
I think we want to take Carthage, and I think we want to use the walls as much as we can. Should be easier to defend from them if we already have the city. Construction report, a couple of things built. We do not deserve the honour of holding any of the Republic's offices of state at this time. Okay, well, that is exactly why we're going to take Rome for ourselves at some point. Capua has grown. We need to build the Governor's Palace, otherwise people will start getting very unhappy. Let's just queue that up. End of turn report, starting to get some money back. Corrales, we can't take it, as we know. Ah, we've got rebels. That's kind of annoying. What do they have? Wow, they've got quite a bit. That's kind of worrisome. I want to bring Cornelius over. Syracuse is not too happy. If we go low tax rate and we bring him over, I think that's just a little bit safer. Now they can't attack. At least they can't attack and win. Army here is ready to go. Let's go and do that.
Yes, Captain. Orders.
And let's attack.
Engage the enemy.
Seems to fancy Hasdrubal's chances. He's got 6 command stars. It's going to be the toughest fight yet. I think before we do this, let's save, just to be safe. Okay, slight change of plan. I have now attempted this fight quite a few times, and Unbelievably, it's actually borderline impossible to kill Hasdrubal. There is just nothing that can be done. His units just do not die in very hard difficulty. I'm not sure what we can possibly do here, but we definitely don't want to go for a siege on Carthage. I think it's only going to take 4 turns till they starve themselves out. I think it's definitely a better option just to see if we can get them to actually do that. We're going to need every unit we can possibly get. I just don't like Velites though. Town Watcher is just going to be totally useless. Quintius Scipio, I think there's a strong argument for sending good old Quintius just to back up his friends. We literally need everyone. This game mode is very much rigged against the player, and we need to accept that. Hastati here. Have we got a ship near there?
Fleet ready.
No.
Fleet ready.
We can send 1 unit of Hastati with these, so let's do that.
Aye, Captain.
And yeah, it's quite simply a case of this army, despite looking pretty massive, is genuinely not enough. It can't deal with the faction leader. I think we need to try and siege him, lure him out, and then see if we can somehow surround him and crush him. There's no other way. So I'm going to take a short break, and I'll be back to finish this part off in a sec. Okay, I'm back. What was maybe a 2-second break for you was more like a 24-hour gap for me. Now I've had some time to do a little bit of research in that gap, and I've pretty much established that, yes, on very hard difficulty, Hastati are just not going to do very well at all against a fully beefed up King's Bodyguard unit. So that raises a fairly interesting question, and if you're seeing this video within the first few weeks of it being uploaded, I'd be very keen to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of using auto-resolve in a situation where auto-resolve is going to get a better result than 99% of human players? Because if we attack Carthage and we go for auto-resolve, it's going to be a success and we're going to lose around 300 units. Not 300 units, obviously. 300 soldiers across my several units. There's pretty much no way to do that as a human, because just from fighting the slingers on the walls, we can expect to lose probably around 180 Hastati. They are actually stronger than our Hastati in hand-to-hand combat on this difficulty setting. Another option is to actually wait another turn and get a few ladders, possibly a set point as well. That might make it slightly easier to take on slingers and take a few less losses, but it's still not a great option. A lot could go wrong, it might not necessarily change anything, and overall the real difficulty is this presence of 150 extremely powerful cavalry that are going to wait in the town square, so we can't rout them. It's really hard to surround them because we are almost all infantry. In fact, the fact that the auto-resolve thinks we can win it at all is very confusing to me. But that is an option, that is one way of doing it, and I'm curious to hear people's thoughts as to whether we should just kind of go for this cutthroat, do whatever we need to do to win the campaign kind of approach, or a kind of more measured, play it out, try and fight as many battles as possible, that type of approach instead. I don't know what people's preference is. I've seen some other people play very hard campaigns on YouTube, and some of the techniques that some people use are kind of cheesy, and I want to avoid doing that. I'm definitely not going to rule out using auto-resolve, and of course any naval combat automatically involves auto-resolve, but I don't particularly like the idea of leaning on it too much, although this might be a one-off. I think the best option in this case is just to wait. Although because this army can't reach us, that guy can. Because this army can't reach us in one turn, and there is a small chance that we might want to assault them next turn, I think we definitely want a sap point, which could potentially destroy the wall, which the slingers are currently stood on top of. If that works out, we could kill a lot of them, but it's very unlikely to work out. There's no real reason to think that it would spawn right in front of them. We'll get a couple of ladders as well, if we do need to try and flank them. But definitely I don't think it's a good idea to try and siege them on this turn. Apart from that, I would like to recruit a diplomat, because I think we want to make peace with the Greeks. We don't want to be risking them coming over when we're sending pretty much all of our forces over to Carthage. And I would like to recruit some velites, because if this guy does come over with his elephants, velites are going to be quite important to help out with that. And that's all our money for the turn.
Fleet ready.
Got another unit of Astarte here as well if we need it.
Aye, aye, Captain.
I'll go there at least, then we have our options open.
Sir.
You guys jump on. If we put this down to low tax rate, they're going to be fine. In fact, we could even send more, but 19 hoplites, not worth the slot.
Ready to sail.
So let's
Aye, aye,
join up.
Captain.
They're a bit stronger now.
Ready to sail. Ready to sail.
And there we have a pretty strong navy. Okay, I think we end the turn now and see what Carthage does. Okay, we already know about that. That's not interesting. Diplomat on the move. Got another one who possibly we've forgotten to move, but that's fine. Ah, okay. That's interesting. I've kind of wasted 250 gold getting my own diplomat now, but let's see if we can actually extract a bit of money from these guys. Let's try 1,000. Okay. They're not happy, but they've given it to us. And that's a big win, I think. Okay, next turn, Carthage doesn't appear to have moved at all, which is interesting. I'm fairly happy just to time them out. I definitely do want to recruit the Numidian mercenaries. They have quite a high initial cost, but the upkeep's pretty low, and they could be pretty helpful actually. So I want those. Retinue expands. Gaius Scipio has now got a mercenary captain. Gives us a nice +1 command. 10% discount on training costs, and 2% bonus to cash gain from looting. It's good to have. Doesn't leave too much cash elsewhere though. Let's try and keep boosting the income. Everything's fairly expensive, unfortunately. Okay. I think we'll prioritize this town because we know that Messana is going to get destroyed by the eruption. Or at least very badly damaged. Militia barracks. I don't think we need another one right now. Let's just go for communal farming. Ceasefire with the Greek cities. We know about that. That was our inaction. Diplomat in Syracuse. I guess we can just send him over towards Egypt and places like that. That seems like an okay idea.
Can I be of service?
Ready to sail.
Nero. I think we should bring that unit of Astarte over.
More move, sir.
These guys,
Ready to
meanwhile,
sail.
we don't have to worry about going east because we now know that Greece is not going to come over with an army. I don't think, however, that Carthage actually does have anything left in terms of navy. So there's not an awful lot to be doing with the fleet. Let's at the very least still go east, actually, because this is a clear, good choice to carry our diplomat. Shouldn't be threatened by anyone. We can just drop him off in Africa somewhere. 500 denarii left. There's not too much we can do with that. We could recruit some Hastati, but I don't think there's an urgent need. Could do it in this town just for the sake of fighting off these rebels who are gonna cause some trouble. In fact, may already be bothering people a bit. Or possibly not. Often rebels in your territory will kind of loot and burn and pillage, but these guys don't seem to be doing anything for some reason. We'll still get some Hastati just so we can fight them off next turn. And over here, I'm fairly happy just to keep starving these guys out. I'm gonna leave the spy. I'm sure this isn't the case, but I have a fear that if I move the spy, it's somehow gonna tempt Captain Eshmunazar to come over to Carthage, and I don't want to let him do that, so I'm just going to leave the spy there. Then we can at least see what he's doing, and if he is coming towards us, or going elsewhere, and what direction he would head in. And that's all we can do in this turn, so let's just end it there. Carthaginian navy is on its way back over. Okay, that's good to know.
Sir.
Now, got a Dacian army here. Let's go and speak to them. Offer them trade rights and map information. And in return, we'll ask for, let's try 900. Okay, that seems reasonable. I mean, obviously, we're kind of ripping them off either way, but I wonder if they'll accept 700 instead of 650. Okay, they think that was generous. I probably could have milked them off a bit more. Gallic diplomat we'll ignore. Let's just keep heading east. We should find Thrace over here somewhere. Plus Macedon and the Greek cities if we want to talk to them a bit more. Already spoken to Gaul. Let's go find Spain. And let's see what this consists of. So 2 units, plus some kind of army. It's got to be worth bringing the bulk of our navy back, I think.
Fleet ready. Ready to sail. Aye, aye, Captain. Orders. Fleet ready.
And we'll keep working on income. Okay, Flavius Scipio has come of age. He is in Capua. He's already bald at the age of 16. That's quite unfortunate, but it happens. Not going to do anything with him yet. Stati have been recruited, and Pontus has declared war on the Greek cities. That's not going to affect us too much. I think we're good just to end the turn. Have we still got the...
Imperator. Ready to sail.
We have, we've got him here. Okay. Let's go see what Numidia's up to. They're just to the west.
Delay. No more moves.
And we'll end the turn. Ah, he's actually dropped off the army. That's kind of annoying. What have they actually got there? Town militia. Surely wouldn't make a difference. I think they are going to attack. We've got a pretty sizable force here, and we can recruit some more Numidian mercenaries, which I'm pretty happy to do. Okay, the Greek cities, I don't think they're going to survive too much longer. Carthage has declared a ceasefire with the House of Julii. Unexpected, but shouldn't affect too much. Governor's Palace has been built. So we now have access to some much better buildings like the Legion Barracks, which enables us to recruit Principes. We'll hopefully put up a bit more of a fight than the Hastati, who are kind of bad. I'm actually gonna potentially up the tax rate a little bit, just because we need some income. And we'll have a look at our other towns as well. This place is already using a very high tax rate, so we can't really improve that too much. This place is not very happy. This place can go up to medium, I think. Over here. Let's have a look. Rebel General. That's the only slightly concerning thing, but I think it should be a fairly doable fight. They want to fight us. Let's do it. Let's just clear them out. I can see a little bit of black around them, which suggests they have been doing some pillaging. Once we deal with that general, I think they should be pretty easy to handle. Wait, we brought the peasants? I didn't mean to select the peasants. I don't remember selecting them, but okay. I'm not going to do anything with them. Let's just take them straight out of the fight. Okay, they don't want to move. What have they got? Some skirmishes, that's the main concern, I think. If we just move to here, put fire of will on, fire at will. And this guy. I'm not sure who he is, but he's got a big guard. He might be our faction leader, I hope he's not. Cornelius Scipio. Are you our faction leader? He's got a big guard. Alright, let's speed this up a bit. Just make sure we can hit the rebel general from behind. He's only got 49, so I think we should be okay if we charge him in the back. Don't want to get hit by the skirmishes, so I'm going to try and keep a wide berth. Okay, he's on the move. Not really sure what he's trying to do here. Okay, slightly worried about this actually. He's coming for our general. We're going to take him on, we should win. Gotta hope we don't get our leader killed. These guys are coming in to attack us. Let's just surround them and fight them off. You guys, in fact, I think should go for the skirmishes. And it looks like the general's backed off, so we're now fighting the Iberian infantry. I think they've got spears. No, they've got swords. I still don't want to fight them one-on-one. There's no reason to. Let's just stay away. Routed those guys successfully. Next up. Take aim at the general. Charge down the skirmishers. He's surrounding us here, so I'm going to try and rout him instead. We're taking some really heavy losses there. Just try and encourage a rout. Okay, that's one down. Go for the general next. Okay, that's routing two, and finally we'll finish off skirmishes and try and rout the Iberian infantry again. Everyone else can go after those. Okay, fight's over. We'll continue it just so we can get a bit of experience for our general chasing people down. That's fine. That'll do. Don't need those units for too much.
Sir.
Doesn't seem to want to go too far. That'll keep him busy for a few turns. And now, big moment. What is Carthage going to do? Are they going to let us have this town for free? There's no way that this army can reach us now. To give us our capital and their king's life for free seems pretty unlikely, but we'll soon find out what they've decided. Yeah, they are going to fight us. Okay. He's not actually going to be backed up by the reinforcements there, which is interesting. This should be very doable. Still very scared of that general unit, but if we completely surround them, we might be okay. Need to get the infantry away. Pull them back. When they sally forth, you don't get a chance to deploy your units as you'd like, so I will pause the game briefly just to consider how we can form up as best as possible. Job of the Roman generals, I think, is going to be, firstly, we want to take out those slingers. He's also got some Numidian missile cav we want to deal with too. Then after that, we just need to make sure that we're using them to flank the general units and cause as much trouble for them as possible. Firstly, let's drop any and all siege weapons. We won't be needing them. And let's just gather everyone up in a big stack. These units with fewer soldiers, I'm not as confident in, and I think we want to try and keep them out of the fight because they'll be routed fairly easily. Let's not have them as a front line. Nice formation there, should do okay. These guys are going to be probably the most important of the bunch for various reasons. These guys are going to be good harassers. The Velites. I can't see them doing much of anything, but we'll keep them around. One final unit here as well. Just put them there. Now let's see what they do. It's coming out. First unit out is going to be the... Can't tell just yet. Looks like the slingers. General is on the move. I would go and attack them, but we can't just yet. We don't want to get too close to the arrow towers. We want them to come towards us. They have no choice but to do so. If they don't come and attack, then they time out, and we get the city for free, and that's not going to happen. General appears to have gone out to the east for some reason. Okay, they're spreading out. Main force is coming out, a different force of another general's bodyguard. Okay, interesting. The main thing to keep an eye on is that armoured general to the east. It'll be a big problem. He's staying annoyingly close to the walls. That's going to stop me from actually being able to go near him for now. Just keep moving these guys back. Seems surprisingly unwilling to engage. I'm just going to speed this up a bit, see if he wakes up a little bit. Okay, here he goes. So he's going to come and attack us with this force here, which I'm assuming is the Numidian cavalry, backed up by the armoured general. If we can isolate them and fight them, that's not going to be too bad. Probably actually want to change the direction of these main infantry units. Let's actually pull back quite a bit. Okay, here we go. Right, We outnumber them 2 to 1. That doesn't necessarily mean too much. In fact, more than 2 to 1. They are going to come towards us with that one general. If he's going to stay isolated, that is definitely ideal. I think we do want to charge in before the other general shows up. See if we can isolate him. Get a nice early rout. What are you doing? I might have told them to go for the wrong guy. That's fine, that actually enables us to flank him. And this should rout him pretty quickly, I hope. One of our Numidian cabs has already been routed. Here is the main baddie. This guy's a big problem. I actually want to run away from them entirely right now. Actually going to charge us, which is a big problem. Oh, that's really bad. No, I don't want to engage them. I want to run away. I want to get over to the safety of our various other units. Okay, here we go. See if we can surround them. Okay.
This is truly a great day for Rome.
Definitely want to chase that guy down. He is a major threat, and even with 33 he can still do some pretty serious damage to us. You guys, I think we can dedicate at least one general to absolutely routing these slingers. We can rout their entire army, which is pretty unlikely, but if we can, then the fight is immediately over. But I don't think we're going to get to these Numidian cavalry in time. We will attempt to charge them, since we're not going to catch up to the general either way. Got a unit routing here, which is unfortunately about to make it back. We've not quite managed to rout them in time, so we're going to have to pull back. Let him come for another round. You guys are still fighting. I'm not sure what exactly. They're still throwing their spears. Ah, I see. It's the slingers. It's fine. Pull these guys back. Stay grouped up. He still has to come and fight us, so if he wants to hang back, it's not going to make too much of a difference for him. Okay, I think he's coming for another go. No idea what he's trying to do here, but he seems to be moving away from us. There we go, he's coming for a fight. We should rout him pretty quickly, since he's already been routed once. We massively outnumber him.
The enemy king has been killed.
Hallelujah, okay. Significantly easier if we can get them outside the walls, so that's good. And I think... well, he's still got these guys left. They're not routed yet. But they obviously can't do any damage to us now. So we have successfully taken Carthage. I don't want to get close to the arrow towers. He has to come and fight us. He has no choice but to do so. I'm perfectly happy to pull back. Give him the initiative. "24 slingers. They have to come for us, they have no choice. Here we go. Nope, they're staying still. Okay, they are actually gonna somehow attack us from that far away. Let's just go and rout them immediately. General's bodyguard surely can't be a threat. Getting dangerously close to the towers now. Let's at least rout them. Back off.
Enemy show that
Hallelujah, we have done it.
demands victory.
Only 120 losses as well, so arguably even better than what the auto-resolve would have managed, although it did take a few extra turns of waiting. That's great, we now have Carthage, which is going to be actually our biggest city, and within a few turns should be our biggest income generator as well. They're not at all happy. Not sure how to feel about that one. Can immediately gain 10,000 denarii if we exterminate them. Enslaving them might be the ideal middle ground. Capua is not happy either, strangely. Okay. Let's enslave them. And now they're happy, and Carthage has moved off entirely. We found Germania to the north. They're probably not going to survive for too long. They don't tend to. We've just got this one isolated army here. Should be pretty easy to take out. We've also got a diplomat here, and I'm pretty tempted now to use him just to keep an eye on this Carthaginian army. Which is not out the fight yet, and has to do something. Not going to ask for a ceasefire because we still want Thapsus, definitely. 100% chance of getting into there. There are a few rebels going around in Carthage's area, but we're just going to leave them be. Hopefully they'll do something to Carthage, but more likely is that they'll hang around until we have to deal with them. As a final act, we could potentially take these guys out. They've got nothing of note really.
General! Imperator! Prepare for battle!
Okay, they seem to think this is going to be more of an even fight than I expected, but I can't see how that would be the case. Let's just finish them off. Nice beach battle here. Push them up against the sea. Alright, what have they got? It's just that one unit of infantry. Surely we can just go straight past those and hit the slingers from the back. Not sure how the range is on the Numidian mercenaries. I'm hoping they're going to be slightly out of range of the slingers, so we won't have to deal with those. Looks like they are going to come forward though. Yeah, okay, they're going to do tons of damage. I'm not really up for taking that. We've already lost most of that unit. Let's just try and rout them as quickly as possible. I'm going to actually try and ignore the infantry unit, which they seem to be going for anyway. I'm not sure why. Let's just see if we can rout them all then. Okay, there. Right, it's just the ranged units left now. They shouldn't be able to do very much of anything to the Roman generals. Let's see if we can rout that general slinger there. I've taken quite a few losses, but they should all come back. That's fine. They're doing surprisingly well. Surely we should rout them though, any moment now. Just amazing what they can stand up to on this difficulty, but there we go, we've done it eventually. Still worth continuing the fight just for a bit of easy XP. You guys don't get any friendly fire. Would not be smart. You guys go finish these off. Do not fire. We do not want friendly fire. Leave that to the generals. See if they can get a bit more XP for themselves. Taking them a surprisingly long time to kill a few men with no cavalry. There we go. Right, so we lost a few mercenaries, but that's fine. I don't think that's going to be a problem. The general's units will come back. And I think we have done enough for one part, so I hope you enjoyed. Do come back for part 3, when we will be taking on, well, most likely taking on Carthage's main army. Either that or we'll be going for Thapsus. And we'll be solidifying our empire in other areas too. I imagine this will be a fairly easy problem to fix. I wonder if it's this new guy. They're not happy about his hairline. Have you been bothering people? Filthy-minded. Nope, that doesn't bother them. Weak-chinned. Unlucky leader. But he's an outstanding speaker. So I don't know why the people don't like him. It's fine, we can just recruit some peasants. It's not going to be a problem. Let's just do that for now. Only costs 90. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the part. As always, there is a link to the playlist in the description, so you can watch the whole thing in one go if you are watching this significantly after it's been uploaded. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.